fallout from former Prince Andrew's arrest has been nothing short of massive. Emergency meetings are being called, and there's serious talk about stripping titles from non-working royals. Yes, Harry and Meghan. That includes you. Host. Welcome to Popcorn Palace. I'm Andy Signer, and wow, it's getting absolutely wild out there. First things first, take a look at this photo of Andrew being escorted by authorities. Just look at the fear on his face. Now, before we dive into all the latest developments, I want to bring in Rob, Shooter, who actually shared a pretty revealing breakdown of what Andrew was allegedly feeling in that moment. According to reports, he was shocked and enraged. He was woken up by officers. He truly couldn't wrap his head around the fact that this was happening to him. He wasn't sad. He wasn't scared. He was furious. There was very much a "do you know who I am" attitude. This wasn't panic. It was pure arrogance. He appeared more offended than afraid. And yes, he's famously known for his teddy bear collection. And apparently this all unfolded as he was getting out of bed, somewhere near those teddy bears. But honestly, this reaction tracks. This is how Prince Andrew, to me, has always come across. Arrogant, entitled, and frankly, just a jackass. It doesn't surprise me at all that this is how he responded. So the big question now, how are other people reacting? Rob also pointed out that, yes, King Charles immediately convened an emergency meeting. And during that meeting, one thing was made crystal clear. Abdication is off the table. The royal family, the monarchy itself, isn't going anywhere. While they are distancing themselves from Andrew and calling for a full, thorough investigation into his actions, the king is standing firm and not backing down. Now, before we get into the Harry and Meghan side of this, let's walk through what's been reported. Queen Camilla, Prince William, Catherine, Princess of Wales, Princess Anne, and Prince Edward were all consulted. And notably, abdication wasn't even hinted at. The king is staying, full stop. As public pressure has ramped up following Andrew's arrest, insiders say the atmosphere inside the palace is calm and controlled, not chaotic. This is Andrew's crisis, not the crown's. Charles has already cut him loose. That chapter is closed. William and Anne, in particular, were described as especially firm. Stability is non-negotiable. You don't blow up the monarchy because one member self-destructs. Charles has publicly stated that the law must take its course, and the strategy moving forward is straightforward. Cooperate. Contain. Protect the institution. The monarchy has weathered wars, abdications, and countless scandals. It isn't collapsing now. That said, there's been a lot of speculation, about what all of this could mean for the royal family and the monarchy as a whole. Could this situation spiral into something far more serious? And yes, that conversation inevitably circles back to Prince Harry and Meghan Markle and the growing question of whether they could ultimately lose their titles. Now, before diving deeper into that, there's something we've discussed before, and I'm hearing it again, seeing it again this morning. They are reportedly feeling immense relief over this arrest. But should they be? Should they really feel relieved? To be fair, they're not taking the negative press right now. They're not. And while they may feel validated for stepping away from the institution years ago, once again watching it seemingly get thrown under the bus, it's complicated. Harry and Meghan, who officially stepped back in 2020, don't feel any obligation to do damage control following Andrew's arrest. For years, they've believed the royal family used them as convenient scapegoats, diversions from far more damaging issues, like Andrew and his ties to Jeffrey Epstein. That's been their private narrative for a long time. While they were being publicly torn apart over comparatively minor issues, the Andrew situation was quietly pushed to the background, minimized, delayed, and largely ignored. For them, it was always difficult to understand how something this serious could simply be brushed aside and ignored. So seeing Andrew finally face consequences has to feel vindicating. Yeah, that's the word people keep using. Vindicating. And the fact that this mess has now landed squarely on shock Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales's doorstep, isn't going to earn them any sympathy from Meghan Markle. From her perspective, they chose the institution. The same institution that allowed this to continue for years. And now, in her view, they're paying the price for that choice. There's little doubt they'll be dealing with the fallout from this for years to come. Meanwhile, Meghan and Prince Harry are more than happy to be 10,000 miles away from the entire situation. With all the chaos surrounding the royals, it must be a relief for them not to be directly involved. That's what's being said anyway. But here's the reality check. And this is where I find this theory increasingly convincing. We've talked about this for years. Could they lose their titles? Could they actually lose their titles? Now, an expert is stepping forward saying this is the moment. Royal biographer Andrew Lowy, who is reportedly well-informed on the king's thinking, says King Charles is preparing to fast-track major reforms, modernizing the institution, increasing financial transparency, and, most significantly, stripping titles from any family member who is no longer an active working royal. I think we're going to see reforms announced, greater transparency around records and finances, and I think there's a real possibility we'll see titles removed from anyone who isn't an active working royal. So the thinking is this. They're going to address Andrew and Harry, the Andrew and Harry problem, at the same time. Andrew becomes the catalyst. The public is demanding visible change, and this moment has clearly accelerated reforms that were long overdue. Reforms that King Charles may have once hoped Prince William would eventually introduce, but now appear to be fast-tracked. And the outcome? Harry and Andrew, two very different challenges for the crown, could ultimately face the same resolution. A clean institutional break, one that clearly separates working members of the monarchy from everyone else, and the implications of that are significant. It wouldn't just affect Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Under these proposed reforms, their children, Archie Mountbatten-Windsor and Lilibet Mountbatten-Windsor, could also lose their royal titles. Now, Harry has argued that he was given assurances regarding taxpayer-funded royal security and other protections. But royal biographer Andrew Lowy remains skeptical that those guarantees will hold. Especially now. It's increasingly difficult to justify publicly funded security when you're no longer a working royal, particularly when some active royals don't receive the same level of protection. And when you have the financial means to pay for private security yourself, and when you've traveled to countries far more dangerous than Britain without taxpayer-funded protection. Put simply, it's a sticky wicket. Agreed. What's becoming clear is that this restructuring of the monarchy has been in motion for decades. The old model, handling issues quietly, hoping scandals fade, postponing tough decisions, is no longer sustainable. Between Andrew's legal exposure, Harry's transatlantic grievances, and growing public frustration with royal privilege, King Charles is under serious pressure. And that's where I want to turn it back to you. What do you think? So do you agree with this? We've been talking about this for a long time now, the possibility that titles could be stripped, and there's been plenty of debate over whether it would actually happen or not. But I'd argue that now, Andrew has become the perfect catalyst to finally justify it. This could be the moment where someone sits Harry down as, look, we have to do this. It's going to affect you. Yes, but sweeping reform means sweeping reform. Everything gets addressed, and frankly, they can point to Andrew as the reason. That matters. At the same time, though, there's a risk here. Could this push Prince Harry and Meghan Markle to lash out even harder? Is this really the right moment? Or does the monarchy want anyone attacking it, even figures as controversial and divisive as Harry and Meghan? That's the real question for me. I'm curious what you think. Either way, one thing is clear. This man is terrified. So how has Meghan Markle reacted publicly? Well, in the middle of all this drama, she shared a brand new message. She released an email from Chaz Ever. When the temperature drops, we start by striking a match. A steady flame on the table. A soft light in the corners of the room. The familiar comfort of a scent that instantly changes the mood. From there, everything else follows. A hot mug in both hands. I can't even keep reading this nonsense. But yes, it was an email meant to sell As Ever products. Add a spoonful of sweetness to your night. Stir As Ever honey into a mug. Honestly, her marketing is just the worst. Now, to be fair, it's not really a reaction to the Andrew situation, but it does show she's treating this as business as usual. Harry, meanwhile, was also seen in a video posted yesterday for the World Child Awards, encouraging people to nominate specially skilled children. That clearly looks like something that's been in the works for a while. They're not slowing down. They never have, no matter what's going on or what tragedy unfolds. I don't see that changing now. So, as the Andrew arrest drama continues and the royals try to deal with the fallout, I think it's only a matter of time before Harry and Meghan are asked directly for their thoughts. Will they stay quiet? What will they say? I'm very curious, and will obviously keep you posted when that happens.